how is he adapting to that running back role, and what do you think he could bring to this offense that can complement you?
Yeah, I think Cade's fast, man. He can do it all, in my opinion. You know, he's working on being a great running back. But I think Coach Spalding has done a great job of, encouraging him, getting extra film work, getting extra footwork things. I think he's done a great job, just putting his head down and going to work, obviously.
How big of an adjustment has your offensive coordinator's tempo been? Not only that, but also just the speed at which practices.
I think the speed of practice is, I would say, adjustment for everyone. But the speed of the offense, and especially in some periods, it's super fast. It's almost like a 2 minute to a certain extent. But for me, it's not that big of an adjustment. Personally, I think I was pretty used to that. But for the offense as a whole, it gets pretty tiring. But I think we're getting used to it now.
And is that advantageous for you guys?
I think so. Our defense was definitely not used to it. Practicing against it. Last year we were very slow. Huddling, waiting for play calls. So now we keep them on the heels, and I think us practicing that fast is going to make games easier. For them when they play a slower defense, they play a slower offense, or they play a fast offense. I think it's going to help them.
Do you like getting touches out of shotgun formation? Is it any easier than under center stuff?
Preferably, I do like it a little bit more. I was used to that at my own school, but I'm comfortable with either one. But I do like how our offense, allows us to see a little better, and it allows us to be open with how we want to read things.
Since you've been here, have you studied much sort of the history of the running backs that have come through here and the seasons that guys have put together and stuff like that?
I would say as a whole, in the 2000s, yeah. Anything before that, I don't really know too much. But I know the guys that I should know. I know all about their seasons.
You mentioned you and Braylon talked, but is kind of holding up that standard or establishing yourself as one of the best combinations in the country something that's also part of the conversation?
Absolutely. I think sometimes we had that goal, when we first became, like a duo, and then unfortunately I got hurt, and then the year after that, we had a different type of season last year. So, I feel like this year is, something that Coach Spalding already talked to us about. He has a standard for us. We have our goals set. I don't really want to say those goals, but he holds us to a super high standard, and we have those expectations that me and him think that we need to meet.
Ches, weight program-wise, what was kind of the goal for you coming in with Coach Brady, and how did that kind of process go in the offseason?
He kind of sat me down and asked me what weight he thought I was comfortable at, or what weight he thought I wanted to be at, and he initially told me some things that, what he thought would help me be successful at the next level, and I agreed to it immediately, and he helped me get to that, during this whole offseason. So now I'm kind of sitting at the perfect weight where I think, I can be super successul.
And he said a goal of his, get stronger but also get faster. Do you think you've accomplished kind of some of those goals?
Absolutely. I think I've gained some weight and I've gotten faster. I feel loose, I feel smooth, and he's done a great job of keeping me strong on the football field. So I would say, I'm in a good spot, especially because Coach Brady's helped me a tremendous amount.
And kind of scheme-wise, what's kind of been the difference in the type of runs that you've kind of gone through? What's kind of like with the new offense, with the way obviously up-tempo, has there been a difference per se in the run game that you feel?
Actually, I think there has, man. I think the pace itself of, the run game, the offensive lineman firing off the ball, and the space that we have in some of the run plays, I feel like it is slightly different. And I think we've done a great job, initially this spring, up-tempo, beating the defensive spots, and being prepared.
Ches, when you go through all these changes on offense, senior leadership and guys that have been on the field before become even more important, how have you tried to maybe insert your experience and what you know about this game into some of these changes that guys are going through?
Yeah, I played a ton of football, I'm kind of used to this fast-paced offense. So, practice initially for some guys, was super up-tempo, super fast. So it was a transition, but, I was telling those guys, man, by practice 6, 7, it's going to feel like second nature. Practice actually starts to go by fast. It's going to be fun. It's not going to be a 36-period practice where guys are, dragging along. Now guys are moving fast. We're playing fast football, so I think it's going to come along fast.
I'm sure you're one of the few guys that, because of your experience and the amount you've done with him, you can push Braylon in a different way that other people can.
Right.
How have you tried to do that in this offseason coming into this spring?
I think we do it to each other, man, but I think we do a great job of, especially if I make a play in practice, I'll look at him or he'll look at me, and, it's kind of like a sign that, it's almost like you got 2-2 now, like it's your turn or something like that. So, it's kind of cool to have someone, in your corner or along your side to know that, like, he has your back to make a play right after you do.
I'm sure it's a little bit of difference now. I think it's your third running back coach of your career, but given that Coach Balding's a little younger, played the position, do you think the adjustment period was a little easier?
I think so. I think he came in, and as soon as we sat down and watched film with him, it was like another running back was in the room because he sees what you see, he understands what you see, and he feels it. So watching film with him, talking football with him, was a super easy transition. He understands the position.
And what's been kind of the main difference with Coach Balding compared to some of your other running back coaches?
I would say his intensity and his attitude, man. He comes in and he holds us to a super high standard, and rightfully so. He knows what being in the backfield here means, and as soon as we step on the field, I wouldn't say he changes his personality, but he turns into coach. You don't want to mess with him. You want to make sure you're on your P's and Q's. So I think he's done a great job for us so far.
Is that infectious? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good.
Is that infectious? Because like every coach here, in its time, man, there's a switch that's flipped. And these morning practices, especially, because you see that, you're like, all right, let's go, game on.
Man, I think so. And it goes. It's not even just Coach Balding, like you said. It's every single position coach here, and it's definitely infectious because you'll have I'll have the outside linebackers coach during special teams, encouraging me, yelling at me, and it's good, man. It's definitely what we needed. It's not just your position coach caring and wanting you to be better. It's the whole coaching staff.
How much of you guys, as running backs, talked about maybe a little less traffic in the box when running plays are happening?
Yeah, I was kind of saying that earlier. Coach Longo preaches speed and space, and so far this spring, I think I've been in a ton of space. I've been catching the ball at the backfield, being in the slide, just being super productive. Being in space and being in space without the ball as well. So it's different, I would say.
Is this, you've been around a little bit, you played in different kinds of offenses, it's going to look to a lot of folks chaotic when they see this offense. Is it relatively simple, like knowing what you need to do play to play? Is it dramatic, or are there big differences from past to what you're doing now?
I would say for the running back position itself, I feel like it's a little, I would say it's harder. Our assignments are different, learning the signals, knowing different things. It could be difficult at times, but it's just reps. At the end of the day, football is just reps. It's like studying. It really just gets easier the more you do it, the more you study.
What have you seen from Cade so far in his kind of OTAs to now?
I think he's done a great job of, putting his head down and just going to work, man. I think he's done a super great job of taking advantage. We have some guys dinged up, and he's kind of just came in and put his head down. And he's done a great job, catching the ball, pass protecting, and he's done a great job adjusting to the running back position as a whole.
Braylon said you guys have been running counter a lot more than before. Do you think you guys might envision seeing some more of that outside zone, or what do you kind of see from the offense?
So far we're running a bunch of counter, a bunch of power, a bunch of inside zone, and outside zone kind of just got installed a couple of days ago. So I think that can escalate as well.
Got it. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.